It's the Linemakers on Sporting News.
Hey, college hoops is heating up. We're right around the corner from conference play. But before we do, we get some great big matchups. And we're going to talk about one here. The Kansas Jayhawks are in Ohio and Columbus facing the Buckeyes. I'm Kenny White here with Rick Herron. We are at the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm going to make the Ohio State Buckeyes a 6-point favorite at home here, Ricky. Very, very good basketball game.
It's a great matchup, Kenny. It doesn't get a whole lot better, you know. I mean, Kansas led by Ben McLemore and the 7-footer Jeff Withey. They probably definitely played a tougher schedule than Ohio State has so far. They lost by 3 to Michigan State, but they also beat Colorado, Oregon State, and St. Louis. However, this is Kansas's first true road game of the year, and they beat this Ohio State team last year in Lawrence by 9. Revenge spot for Ohio State.
Hey, that's always big. It's a learning experience of going on the road for the first time, of being booed for the first time as a team. Players aren't used to that, and you have to learn how to travel. I always like to look to go against teams on their first road trip. Sometimes you catch a team all the way into January. But this matchup right here, Ohio State lost a lot of players, and it just shows you what a talented coach Thad Matta really is. They've developed some talent. And talk about their point guard a little bit.
Aaron Kraft might be the best defensive guard in the country. He's like glue on the ball. I mean, and Deshaun Thomas, he's been fantastic at 20 points a game. You know, Kenny, one of the things I like to do with college basketball, I like to watch as much college basketball as I possibly can. And I like to see how teams play together and how they gel and how they switch defensively and if there's chemistry with them. I was super impressed with Ohio State in their loss. Their one loss. They lost by 5 at Duke, 73 to 68. They played tremendously well that night. I'm leaning towards Ohio State in the game, hoping to lay a little bit less than 6, though.
You might lay less than 6 because the underdog will have some value in the game at that number, I believe. Defense is one thing I look for. I try to look to see how difficult a team makes it for the other team to get into the paint. And if they could stop the other opponent from getting into the paint, I like those type of teams. And these two teams, they both can do that. For Rick Herron, I'm Kenny White. You've been watching the Linemakers here at the South Point.